a girl whose father didn't let her go outside the house for 7 years. Welcome to this unique film, so sit back and enjoy. 7-year-old Chloe has never been outside the house. She lives with her father, Henry. Her mother passed away years ago. At the beginning of the film, Chloe is watching an ice cream truck outside the house. There's something strange here. We see that the birds outside Chloe's house don't move and seem to be stuck in one place in the air. There's never any electricity in the house. Henry is always worried. Whenever she looks outside, he tells her not to do any of that. According to her father, it's not safe to go outside because the people who killed her mother are still out there. One day, the two of them were playing cards at home. Suddenly, blood starts coming out of Henry's left eye. At night, before going to sleep, Chloe hears some noise coming from her closet. As soon as she opened the door and looked, a woman sitting in her closet screamed loudly. Chloe also started screaming out of fear. She ran back to her bed and started drawing something on the walls. She kept repeating in a low voice, "Go away, go away." After a while, the woman's screams stopped. When Chloe checked, she wasn't in the closet either. The next morning, Chloe woke up to the sound of an ice cream vendor. A girl who lived next door was buying ice cream at the curb. She softly whispers that she wants the ice cream, knowing that the girl at the curb can't hear her. A little while later, someone knocks on the door. Chloe ran downstairs and opened the door. Harper was standing there with ice cream. Before she could take the ice cream, Henry came over and stopped her. Harper calls Chloe by her name. Henry can't understand how she knows Chloe's name, since he never introduced anyone to Chloe. He asks Chloe if she's ever met that girl before. Chloe shakes her head and says they've never left the house, so how could she have met her? Henry, not believing her, locks her in the room as punishment. The next morning, he opened the door and apologized to his daughter. But Chloe's anger hadn't subsided yet. She wants to go outside the house. Henry promises her ice cream, if she promises never to open the door for a stranger. Saying this, he leaves the house. A little while later, Henry returned home injured. While he was tending to his wounds in the bathroom, Chloe quickly started searching through his things for ice cream, looking for ice cream. When she couldn't find it, she became frustrated and started scolding her father. Henry, because of the wounds on his body, he fainted. Just then, Chloe heard the sound of the ice cream man outside. She took a $100 bill and went outside. Outside, the ice cream man promises to take her to the park and asks her to come with him. After thinking for a moment, she got into the car. For the first time, Chloe saw the outside world through the car window. Her eyes fell on a large banner which showed a man with blood coming out of his left eye. Below the photo, it was written, "If you see anyone like this, call the police." The old man asks Chloe if blood has ever come out of her left eye, to which Chloe says no. While Chloe is playing on the swing in the park, the old man asks her if there is anything she can do that other people can't. Chloe keeps swinging but doesn't answer his question. After that, he starts pushing her on the swing faster and faster, hoping that her powers will come out from anger and fear. After a while, a police officer arrived and told the old man to step away from the girl. The old man turns to Chloe and says that this is one of the bad people who killed her mother. Chloe, angry, tells the police officer to leave. Somehow he listened to her and left. Chloe has the power to make others do what she says. The two of them head towards Chloe's house. On the way, the old man shows Chloe a picture of her mother. In reality, this old man is none other than Mary's grandfather, Alan. Before leaving, he gives Chloe a powder, saying that if she gives it to her father, Henry, then the two of them can go out like this anytime. A few hours later, Henry regained consciousness. Chloe was drawing in her room. Seeing Henry, her anger erupted. She tells her father that he has lied to Chloe about everything until now and that there are no bad people outside the house. Because of this, the father and daughter had a big argument. Chloe lay alone, gazing at her mother's picture, wondering how their lives would have been if she were still with them. Suddenly, noises start coming from her wardrobe. When she opens the wardrobe, she sees the same woman again. But this time she realizes that it is her mother, Mary. She went up to Mary and introduced herself, but instead of hugging her daughter, Mary started screaming that this was an illusion and that Chloe couldn't be real. Frightened, Chloe left the wardrobe. It seems that Chloe has another power. She can see and talk to someone even when they're far away. When she came out in the morning after waking up, Henry had fallen asleep while watching TV. The TV was tuned to a news channel. From this, Chloe learned that there are people in the world known as Frees, who possess extraordinary powers. When they use these powers, blood comes out of their left eye. 10 years ago, a freak like this destroyed the city and took the lives of thousands of innocent people. After this incident, the government formed a special force called the ADF to deal with such people. The ADF's job was to capture all the freaks and imprison them in a jail built on Mount Medak. It is strictly forbidden for such people to roam around the city, and if anyone is found doing so, orders are to shoot them on sight. ADF Agent Rape explains that they want to train these freaks and use them as weapons in war. Hearing this news, Chloe is deeply shocked. She sits in her room, remembering her mother. Just then, she sees her mother again in that big wardrobe. Chloe goes to Mary and assures her that she really is her daughter. The two of them talk. During their conversation, Chloe finds out that her mother is also a freak. She has been imprisoned by the ADF people at Mount Medak. The next day, Chloe told Henry about her mother, but he didn't believe her. With no other option, Chloe gave her father the powder her grandfather had given her and made a plan to leave the house. But Henry found out about it. He chases after her to stop her. Standing at the main door of the house, Chloe shouted loudly, "Dad, go to sleep!" And suddenly, Henry collapsed right there on the spot. For the first time, blood came out of Chloe's eye. Chloe told her grandfather Alan everything. After hearing Chloe, Alan makes a plan to go there and save her mother. He took Chloe to Agent Ray. Alan made up a story that he was a priest and Chloe was his adopted daughter. He told Agent Ray that he had recently found out that Chloe was a freak. Alan requests that Chloe be taken safely to Mount Medak, and since she is still a little girl, he will go with them to take care of her. Agent Ray looks for blood marks under Chloe's eyes. She examines Alan's eyes but doesn't find any blood marks. Everything was going according to plan. But when Ray keeps calling Chloe free again and again, Chloe gets angry. Thinking that Chloe might be dangerous, she could be. Ray called for backup, but luckily, both of them disappeared and escaped from there. We find out that Alan is also a free who has the power to disappear. He uses a chemical called hydrogen peroxide to remove the bloodstains from under his eyes. Alan asks Chloe to come to his house so he can teach her how to use her powers. But Chloe shouts that she wants to go to her father. Because of her powers, Alan is forced to take her back home. Suddenly, Henry appeared on the road and disappeared with Alan and his truck. He took Alan home and tied him to a chair. A few seconds later, he came back to Chloe, picked her up in his arms, and took her away from there. On the way, he explains everything to Chloe. Her father had the power to slow down time. He could create a bubble in which the world outside moved very slowly, while inside everything moved at normal speed. He had created a similar bubble outside their house as well. It worked whenever he was awake. They had been hiding in their house for 7 years, while only a few months had passed in the outside world. Henry thinks that Chloe will no longer be safe with him. He gives his neighbor a lot of money and asks him to adopt her. Stephen agrees, but his wife Nancy soon realizes that Chloe is not an ordinary girl. She refuses to adopt her, and Henry leaves with Chloe. When they return home, Henry notices blood coming out of Chloe's left eye. He realized that Chloe also had supernatural powers and had learned how to use them. Because he couldn't trust her, he locked her in a small room. Using her powers, Chloe meets her mother, but suddenly a man drags Mary away from there. In the morning, she comes out of the room and tells Henry everything. Henry doesn't listen to Chloe because, as far as he's concerned, his wife is already dead, but eventually Alan tells him the whole story. When Mary and Alan attacked Mount Medak, they failed to confront the ADF. Alan somehow managed to escape from there, but Mary couldn't get out. He thought his daughter had died in the fight, but the ADF didn't kill her. They captured her. Chloe saw Nancy talking to the police outside the window. She uses her power to listen closely to what they're saying. Henry and Alan can see all of this too. Chloe once again used her powers to take control of the police officer. The police officer attacked Nancy with a pen. Blood started to flow from Nancy's right eye. Seeing the blood coming from her eye, the ADF people thought she was a free one, and in no time they riddled her with bullets. After a while, they take the whole family into custody. Henry gets angry at Chloe, asking how she could take someone's life. But Alan explains to him that Chloe didn't do anything wrong. If she hadn't done that, they all would have been killed instead of Nancy. Chloe goes to her room and once again remembers her mother. She sees Mary tied up. After a while, Henry and Alan also arrive there. It becomes clear that Mary will be killed soon. Alan shoots at the doctor, but it doesn't help. Henry feels helpless. Suddenly, Chloe takes control of the doctor's mind and forces him to kill himself. Then she uses the police officer standing there to untie her mother's hands and feet. Meanwhile, the doorbell at their house rings. Agent Ray was standing outside. Henry creates a time-stopping bubble and, dressed like a real estate agent, goes to open the door. Ray looks for blood marks under his eyes, but Alan had already erased them with hydrogen peroxide. A little while later, it becomes clear that Ray already knew about him. Upstairs in the room, Chloe was trying to get her mother out of Mount Medic jail. Alan came there to help Henry, but before he could do anything, Ray shoots Henry and injures him. Before she could shoot Alan too, he disappeared from there. She sees Chloe in the upstairs room, who was busy trying to get her mother out of jail. Seizing the opportunity, she fired at Chloe, but Alan stepped in front of Chloe and sacrificed his life to save her. Seeing her grandfather die, Chloe is filled with rage. She takes control of Ray's mind and makes her shoot herself. Hearing the sound of gunshots, the police surrounded the house from all sides. Saying a final goodbye to her grandfather, Chloe continues the process of saving her mother. She takes control of the minds of the guards stationed in the prison and makes them fight each other so that her mother can escape safely. Finally, she opens the door leading out of the prison. As a result, Mary successfully escapes. As soon as she is free, Mary uses her powers to fly away from there. Due to overusing her powers, Chloe became exhausted and fainted at home. Meanwhile, a missile is launched at their house. Henry uses his powers one last time to somehow get her out of the house. When Chloe wakes up Henry, he tells her that she is the best daughter in the world, and he regrets that he couldn't live a normal, happy life with his daughter. Henry couldn't live that life. He dies, and suddenly gunshots are heard from outside. The ADF people are still trying to find Chloe, but Mary arrives there and saves her. The two of them meet for the first time. Mary promises her that she will always keep her hidden and won't let anyone harm her. But Chloe says that enough is enough. She won't live a life of fear anymore. They will live wherever they want and lead a normal life. Mary, hearing this, she smiles, picks her up in her arms, and flies away from there. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what you would do if you had such powers.